It's time we talk to actor, filmmaker, producer, writer, and author of a new book, Jeff Rector. Hey, Jeff, how's it going today?
Oh, fantastic. It's great to see you. It's been a little while.
But I run into you at every party, at conventions. You did a cosplay
We
once, I
can't
remember.
stay away from each other.
You did a cosplay once where you were like Superman, but kind of halfway between Clark and Superman. Like
That's
I've
right.
seen, yeah, it's epic. It's so epic. You look, I mean, you're a spitting image of classic Superman, but
Thank
you,
you so much.
and plus you're an actor that's been in so many indie movies, not just indie movies, episodes of Star Trek, like I'm going to show a clip
Tiger,
later.
all the classics.
But if you were to distill your career into, like, give us the cliff notes, tell us about it, and I have stuff to embarrass you and show you in a good way.
I can't wait. Well, first of all, we're promoting my new book. I was a Playboy rabbit and other stories, and I'm sure we'll get to that in a minute. But and the subtitle is a B movie memoir. So, like Bruce Campbell, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm a B movie star. I wear it like a badge of courage. And it paid a lot of bills, when you're up and coming. And I'm a sci-fi horror geek like you are and like millions of other fans are. And when I started to get cast in these vampire films and zombie films, and it's like they're paying me to do what I grew up watching
Yeah.
and love. I mean, this is fantastic. So I'm just grateful for everything. I've done some big movies. I've done a lot of little movies, and I'm just grateful for it all. And it just feeds that inner monster. I was a tour guide at Universal Studios. I grew up with the Universal monsters, so
Well,
I always
the tour guide thing is huge. A lot of people were tour guides at Universal, and that I went on it recently because they always update it, and change it based
sure,
on what's happening on the
right,
lot or what movie they're promoting.
sure,
But that is an education in film, being a tour guide there.
right. We had to memorize 2.5 hours of a book of all the studio history and everything. Now it's like all videos and like they talk for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
What a cop out.
yeah. What are some of the memorable?
We really sold the studio back then.
What are some of the more memorable? You've been on TV and film, like
Yes,
you were in Star Trek: Next Generation.
3 episodes.
Dude, tell me about that.
So uh, back in the day, I was working my way up through the ranks and I was still doing extra work. And I get a call to go over to Paramount, super secret project. Nobody knew what it was, couldn't talk about it. I get on the set, they lined 30 of us up. It was like, you know, 20 somethings, all good looking guys and girls. And a guy went down the line and started picking people out. And he came up to me and he looks me up and down like, you're in a military lineup. And I just look straight ahead like a good soldier. And he goes, okay, you. And they take 5 of us away out of 30 people and they take us to wardrobe. And she goes, what's your size? Here, put this on. I go, oh, by the way, what is this? She goes, oh, you're going to be a Starfleet cadet on the next Star Trek, The Next Generation. I'm, what? So I put on this uniform. They lead us down a hallway, and nobody's seen these sets, right? I mean, it hadn't even been shot yet. So they take us into this room, and I'm like, man, this looks familiar. It was the transporter room. I'm like, what? So
Wait,
the
is
guy who
this
took us out
you
was
were in another episode? Is this you?
That's me. Yeah, that was an episode called Allegiance. The second episode I did, my twin brother and I played clones in an episode called Up the Long Ladder. They used 3 sets of twins and 2 sets of triplets. So they looked like they were on a clone planet. We were featured, but we still didn't have any lines. But that picture you showed, that was a guest star on that was the third episode I did, and it was the same director. So sometimes it helps when you work with somebody before.
And I feel like some of the photos you sent me might be considered incriminating evidence. This is you and David Hasselhoff at the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, we both ate hamburgers off the floor of the mansion, actually.
Right.
It's
Sure.
Oh, he was a great guy, and he was up there a lot, and Bill Maher and Ben Affleck and Jack Black, and you got to hang out with all these people because when you're at the Playboy Mansion, everybody's equal because they think
Right.
you're not there unless you're a somebody, right? So it's the one place that everybody's treated equal, and it was just amazing.
I've been there a couple times myself, a story for another time, but here you are with a couple of bunnies. I miss
I'm
that
not
era.
that young, my God.
But I miss that era where it was parties were fun,
Yes,
women were encouraged to be sexy.
yes.
People, I don't know, it was a different time. It was a different
It was
time.
a better time. I'll
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Well,
that.
those are these stories in your book?
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
Because
you
what
should.
happened was the book starts out the first 5 years I was living in New York trying to be an actor or working as an actor, but working my way up the ladder. I got hired by Playboy Enterprises to be a rabbit, the male version of the Playboy bunny. Christy Hefner took over Playboy and wanted to add men into the club, so it was a real New York nightclub that catered to both men and women. So they basically paid us to party. I mean, it was incredible. Then the second half of the book is when the club closed down. I was ready to move back to LA. I got hired to be Charlie Sheen's stand-in on Wall Street, and then Tom Cruise's stand-in on Cocktail. And I got parts in both of those movies because the director liked me and you're part of the crew. So that's the first part of the book. Then the second part of the book is when I moved back to LA. And then my career really started to take off, where I got the lead in my first feature film and yada, yada, so on and so forth.
And so many parts. Here I found actually on YouTube, there's a clip
Please,
of you in Sliders.
yes,
Can we show this?
please. I
I
like
wanna show this.
that.
Okay. Real quick, 1 minute. Let's watch this.
I co-starred with Robert Englund. Great movie.
That's great.
I was like the Terminator robot.
Seems to be checking for life signs.
Right onto a robot.
I'm sorry.
See the digital lights on my face with the whole prosthetic, kind of like Schwarzenegger.
Where's my friend?
Was that your brother?
Yes.
Father is anxious to meet you.
I'm so pleased. Your friends have decided to join us.
Don't do this, Alden. You can't play God with people.
Look around you. Haven't I already?
How many people can say they hurled Jerry O'Connell up into a brick wall?
That's great. So, I mean, clearly, I mean, you have just been a guy that's consistently worked. I mean, you say B movie in your book, but it's more than that. You've done TV and other roles. And does it help that you have your brother, like, you guys come as a pair, like when
Back in the day, we did a lot of work as twins on
right,
Star Trek, on Sliders, and a lot of commercials. But as you get older, your looks change, and if you're not identical anymore, the twin thing goes away. And we kind of wanted to do our own thing and not just be the Rector set, which is
right,
what we called ourselves,
right. But
the
being
Rector
in
set. But
being
it
in
was
like
very good for us for many years.
But I've got to say, I'm sure, like, twins is like a thing. Remember the twins? Like that was I think it was a beer commercial where they had
Oh,
twins
the Wrigley Doublemint gum.
and the Wrigley Doublemint thing. Like,
We actually did one of those too. Yeah.
what do you guys do when you meet other sets of, say, female attractive twins?
Well, that's funny because we were on the Maury Povich show. They set us up with a set of female identical twins, and they bought us dinner, and then they brought us back on the show to talk about it. One was the sweetest thing you ever met, and the other one was a complete nightmare. Of course, I got the nightmare, and but you don't really go back and say that, but you try to be nice. But we actually started the New York Twins Club when we were living in New York. We had like 20 sets of twins. It was kind of fun.
But also in your career, the reason it's lasted so long is because you are malleable. Before we did the interview, you were like, well, actor, producer, writer, director, like it's so many. I just say, well, filmmaker, that
Right.
encompasses everything. But not just that, you've been on all sides. You've worked at film festivals. You did Burbank Film Festival for a long time, and you've worked with other festivals. So it's like if you want to have a long career, the lesson is to take from you is what do you need? What job do you need? And you're
Gotta
very,
be flexible.
yes.
That's what you gotta be malleable. You gotta be able to move with the times. If you're stuck in one thing and time changes or the industry changes, you're dead. You've got to move with the times. You've got to be flexible. You've got to think outside the box. I don't know how many times I've reinvented myself. Just like it came up with a new idea. Okay, I'm going to try that. And fortunately, been fairly successful with everything.
But but you've always, every time I run into you, like you do like to party. I'm not going to lie. I was just going to say,
I will.
you like to have fun.
I got to have some fun. Otherwise, it's just work. Not gonna
So
lie. I like to have some fun.
the book has all these stories.
It's a lot of fun anecdotes. It's where I was the second choice to play Roy Scheider's son in Jaws 2. Universal flew me to Florida to read for the
Wow.
director. That's how close it got. I worked with Moon Zappa in an episode of Normal Life as her girlfriend. I dated Chuck Barris's daughter from the Gong Show. I mean, it's just chock full of these incredible, fun, and I try to be a little enlightening and inspiring to actors and say, look, if I can do it, you can do it. Here's what I did. Here's how it happened. And hopefully there's some insights that will inspire some people.
Yeah. What is, if you could take the book and give like the theme of the book and like boil it down, what is it? But because I do think that, because I don't even remember when we first met, like, but it's been
I don't either
dec-
because
decades.
it's been decades.
Maybe the
Absolutely.
90s. It's got to be the 90s. Let me go back then.
Probably at one of the film festivals. Listen, I grew up in Michigan and I knew about, Film Threat magazine. So I've
Wow.
been a fan of and followed you years before I never told this to you, but I
I'm
followed you
hearing it now.
years before we even met.
Oh, that's great. That's great. But yeah, I do think that because I feel like a lot of the reason people don't get hired is attitude.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Attitude.
That will kill you quicker than look at Snow White, the new movie, or
Yeah.
Snow Woke, as some people say. How do you get this main role in a Disney movie and then badmouth it? I just it's beyond me. The general rule is you got to be nice to everybody. I
Mhm.
don't care if it's the PA or the guy sweeping the floor. Just it's in life, Hollywood as in life. Just be nice to everybody because it's a small town and people
Yep.
talk, and it does not serve you well if you don't treat people right.
Where can people get the book?
They can go to my website jeffrector.com/shop. You can get it on Amazon, but I can personalize it through my website, which you can't get on Amazon, jeffrector.com/shop.
Oh
I have
my God.
photos and stuff on there and some other movies I produced if you're interested in.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Your career is so storied. Like, that's why it's like, it's impossible. Like, look at the list of credits, it's insane. It's,
I photo doubled Jean Claude Van Damme on Double Impact, which I think is still his best film. There's a chapter of that in the book. I met Janet Jackson in Hong Kong on the feature. She invited me to her show. I mean, you just never know who you're going to meet, when you're going to meet. And that's why I love the business, because each job is different. So you're always working with a different cast and
Oh my God.
crew, and it's a whole new experience.
And this, I remember you did this comedy thing, Trumped. Trumped.
Trump, I'm going to be putting tariffs on all the drugs now. So
Oh no, I remember this. This
I'm a
is
big
great.
fan of Film Threat. Big fan of Film Threat. I'm telling you, Chris Gore's the best. I'm telling
Oh
you,
my God.
huge.
Oh man. That's great, Jeff. So go to jeffrector.com, find out about the book. Jeff, so great talking to you, man. Congrats on the book. This
Thank you
I
so much.
this
And by the way, Chris, this
yeah.
is the first of four. Only takes place between 85 and 95. The
This
next book is 95 to 2005. So there's three books more just to even catch up to today.
well,
There's too many stories for one book.
this could be a documentary.
Well,
This
I started one called Who is Jeff Rector? So that's an ongoing a project, but this could be a TV movie out there for anybody listening
or a streaming movie.
about all
Like
the
they make
stuff I've done.
streaming. Jeff, thank you so much for talking to us
So
here.
much, Chris.
Jeffrector.com. Check it out. And congrats again. Always good to run into you.
Thanks so much. Film Threat, everybody. You heard it here first.